What's up, guys? This is Doctor, and welcome to another episode of FPL Fantasy. As usual, I'm joined by my co host, Joe. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm slowly creeping up the rank ladder by I feel like 0.5% every game week. So eventually, give me a couple seasons and I'll be close to top 10.
Yeah, good luck. Top 10, top 10K, top 10 million. You'll be in the top 10 definitely. So, as usual, two topics and then team reveal. This game week's topics are what to do with your transfers and which players to target if you are planning to do a transfer. And the next topic would be should you remove the captaincy from Holland or no before moving on to the team reveal. Shall we get into it, Joe?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Are you doing any transfers?
I have a couple transfers planned. Maybe I'll save it for the team reveal before I get into it. Too much. Don't want to give away any spoilers. But looking at kind of the week that we have, we originally thought, hey, it was possible that it could be a double game week. Turns out it's not really going to be a double game week. I believe it was for Brighton that we were thinking about, but that's okay. Brighton's still on a tear. They still might have a double in the future. I think while we're talking about it, Brighton players are pretty good. I've always talked down on Solly March, but if he's actually going to be consistent and not be a Zaha, I think okay, maybe you could look into him. The other guy that I really like that I shouted out about 3 or 4 weeks back, Mitoma. Dude's a stud. He kind of seemingly came out of nowhere for Premier League people that just follow the Premier League. And yeah, yeah, I think he's a great shout too. Now you can also look if you're looking at defensive assets, bring in Newcastle players. Um, I'd probably stay away from City defenders because we really don't know what's going on there, and City seems to be somewhat unreliable. Arsenal, bring in Arsenal defenders. Who cares? They're going to at least get a clean. Midfielders, Odegaard first, Martinelli second, Saka third, my opinion. Nketiah, bring him in up top. I think he sealed his position pretty well. I think it's going to be difficult to see Jesus jump into the side and immediately knock Nketiah out of his spot. If you're looking at Spurs, look at Kane right now. We're a mess. We have no clue what's going on. Our transfers are a mess. Me and Doc were talking about it before. I told him he would understand. He's a United fan, which going to United are doing fairly well, it seems like. I mean, a little hiccup with the Palace game, but hey, they propelled themselves into the title race the last couple game weeks with the performance that they have. If you don't have Rashford, he's the new Holland. Just bring him in. Stop complaining. I think Bruno Fernandes is probably the second best midfielder you can bring in. He's right up there neck and neck with Rashford. And defenders, Shaw, sure, bring him in. He's fine too, but everybody has him. Yeah, it's whatever. It's kind of up in the air there. I think I kind of hit really on almost all of them that I wanted to. Oh, if you have Salah, sell him. He's boring. Um, and I think in the next couple game weeks, you can actually start looking at Leeds assets too. Got a couple good forwards that are coming out. You know, this Bamford guy, never heard of him before. Seems good. Supposedly he's been injured for the last 8 seasons. The other forward, Nanto, I think is his name. I'm American. We don't know how to pronounce anything, so let's call him Nanto for now. He is being a stud the last couple games, so that's another one. If you're looking for a third forward, bring him in. I think Rodrigo is going to be an interesting shout when their fixtures turn in the midfield. Defensively, don't look at him. Doc, I gave you the quick and dirty 2.5 to 5 minute rundown. What do you think? What am I lying about? Hang on. Hey, whoa. Bring in Ivan Tony. Okay, now Doc, your turn.
Well, I think it's a solo episode because you covered everything. There's not much really to add. I think you covered it very well. So I just want to say and stress the strategy that I would follow at the moment when it comes to transfers. If you can roll, just roll the transfer. there is a lot unknown, and we should know by the end of the deadline. If not, we should know by the next deadline. Therefore, having two transfers going into game week 22, going into game week 23, there is a double guaranteed for Arsenal in 23, possible double in 22 for Manchester United. So there is and a huge blank game week possibly in game week 25. So it will affect your free hit strategy. It will affect all your strategy when it comes to transfers. Because if you are not free hitting in game week 25 in your transfers, you have to take into consideration who are you going to bring in, who are you going to take out. They need to play in game week 25. It's a big black game week. So I would say roll the transfer. If you are not rolling the transfer and you have, let's say you have two free transfers and you don't want to burn one, I would bring an Arsenal player. Arsenal are guaranteed double game week in 23. I would prioritize Odegaard probably, Saka, Ben White. The reason Martinelli kind of fell down in the pecking order is mainly Trossard. We're hearing that he's moving to Arsenal after he was rumored that he's going to move to the beloved Spurs of Joe. But yeah, this North London rivalry is getting crazier and crazier.
It's not a
Otherwise,
rivalry.
Joe,
We're not even playing. We're not even here. We're like some small club. We're in the same league as Wrexham. We're like Division 5.
absolutely. And I think it's interesting that it seems like it's one of those moments that everybody is supporting Man City. So just Arsenal cannot win the league. It's like Arsenal versus the rest of the world thing. So Spurs fans don't want Arsenal to win the league. United fans, which I am one of, funnily, we prefer Man City taking the league over Arsenal. It just feels like that. We got used to it, right? Man City taking the league, nothing special. Let's move on. But if Arsenal take the league, oh my god, it's like the early 2000s rivalry wakes up. Anyways, we digress. Let's move on to our next topic. All right, Haaland captaincy or no? Kane has Fulham away. Are you captaining Haaland next game week, Joe?
Uh, Probably not. No, no, no. I think I'll probably go with good old Harold again. If I'm feeling if I'm feeling dangerous, Tony's got leads and they have no defense, and Tony loves to score right now. So I don't know. That feels good too, but it would probably be between my three up top. I don't think I'm going Holland. I might. Kane is probably most likely, but Tony. Tony's that one thing that you don't know why, but it just that move is calling to you right now. I mean, my front three plays against Leeds, Fulham, and Wolves. Yeah, just pick somebody out of the hat. It's gonna be fine. You'll be okay. I think Holland. We got to wait and see what the game later today kind of pans out. If he gets kind of back on that scoring horse and really starts shooting and scoring some goals like he did. You know, if he pulls off a hat trick against Spurs, it's like, wow, maybe Holland's back, right? But if he ends up blanking again, I don't know. He's just off form. He needs to go and talk to like a sports psychologist or something like that and get his head right. But whatever is going on right now before the Spurs game, yeah, I'm not looking to captain him.
I would tend to agree that the Spurs game will kind of decide whether everybody captains Haaland or not. If he scores a hat trick, he's the automatic captain for next game week. But I don't think it's a Haaland problem. I think it's a Man City problem. There's something going on when it comes to the whole team. There has been a shakeup with Lewis instead of Cancelo, Foden bench, Grealish starting more often. There has been a shakeup. So I think it's a Man City issue that's not kind of supplying Haaland with enough chances. We see how many few touches he's touching the ball in every single match in the past 3 games. So there is something with Man City rather than Haaland himself. But like you mentioned, when it comes to captaincy, there is not a straightforward. I really like the shout of Tony, especially if Haaland blanks tonight. So let's assume Haaland blanks tonight. There is not a straightforward answer. Spurs are playing terribly versus Fulham, who are playing very well. Man City are playing Wolves. It is at home, but Wolves in a decentish form, and Man City is in a terrible form. Arsenal are playing Man United. Liverpool are playing Chelsea, so there is no straightforward answer and easy shout. Newcastle are playing Crystal Palace away, and Crystal Palace tend to be decent at home. So there is no straightforward answer. I would captain probably Haaland because it's just at home versus Wolves, and you hope they bounce back. But again, tonight he blanks, he doesn't show up, you start worrying. If anything, I would probably look at Kane. Again, if tonight he survives tonight, I'll probably look at Kane. But it would be a nice game week now to punt. So might be looking at a punt. I'm not doing well this season so far. It's about time to take some punts. So and it's a good game week to take punt. Even the teams that you target when it comes to attacking returns, like Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth, they're playing each other. Who are you gonna captain? So it's one of those game weeks that I would say it's a nice game week to punt. If Haaland, especially if Haaland doesn't show up tonight, if he does, he's automatic captain, and we take it from there.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm less on Holland than you, but I think either way, like I said, you can't go wrong. I mean, you hear my front three, who they're playing against, just throw it on somebody.
Well, instead of your Tony, I have Nketiah, and he's playing United, so I wouldn't probably captain him against United as well,
Yeah.
despite the absence of Casemiro. So I have Kane, Haaland, and Nketiah, and I wouldn't captain any of them. Shall we move on to our teams?
Yeah, let's get into those boys.
All right, Joe, here's your team. Hit me.
I know you're going to be as disappointed as me, but Nottingham Forest play Bournemouth, and Henderson's listed at 25%. Kills me. This is prime Henderson point game. This is a clean sheet. This is maybe 3 saves. Who knows? Throws Solanke or somebody on the penalty spot. Let Henderson save it. But 25%. I think I'm just going to leave him in. If he doesn't play, I get Ward. Cool. Whatever. Ward will probably get crushed. They're playing Brighton. We've talked about it. Brighton are feeling themselves. They're doing really well. Really, it's the exact same lineup as I had last week. Right now, I have the captaincy on Kane. Like we said, maybe Kane, maybe Tony. Who knows? I have Walker in my first spot on the bench. That's kind of a toss-up between Walker and Shaw. Lean more Walker, but will he play? Won't he play? The nice thing about Walker is it seems like he's not really coming in. He either starts or he doesn't play, at least the last couple games. So gives me a little more comfort than I feel like Cancelo owners, because whoever's in my first is likely to come on if Walker's not starting. Where Cancelo, he's going to come on for 45 or 20, 30 minutes, something like that. Or he'll play and then just, come off at 58 minutes. So dodging a bullet there. I have a little inkling of I want to move Almiron. He just feels like he's not necessarily getting into the space like he was. I think defenses have kind of caught on to Newcastle's plan, at least with Almiron. Almiron seemed to kind of slot into those spaces, receive a good ball. He was home free. When he was really firing, I don't think it's a necessarily like form, like Almiron is playing worse. I think defenses are playing better against Almiron right now. Now, I expect that to drop off as Newcastle keep ticking away, getting draws, getting wins. Trippier getting 3 points. It doesn't matter who scored 5 goals that game. So I expect Almiron to come good again, but I think holding on to him right now in hopes that if he does score, at least I have his points and I can mitigate that, is worse than, obviously not this week, but like bringing in Bruno Fernandes 2 weeks ago or a week ago and getting those points, or bringing in Mitoma and maybe a Brighton midfielder. I'm looking at Mitoma myself, but bringing him in and getting what almost feels like guaranteed points against Leicester, right? So that's kind of where my thoughts are right now. I know some people are like, yeah, but you have Mahrez in there. Why don't you get him out for KDB? I'm still okay with Mahrez. Yeah, he blanked the first game in this double. We'll see what he does tonight. That's fine. I'll hold on to him for another week or two if he doesn't really, start ticking. But that's where my thoughts go. I'm seeing a glaring issue with points in my team, and I'm going to try and fix it. Doc, what do you think about the team?
I like it. I absolutely like it. It's a Joe's team with the Odegaard already there, Tony. I like the team. Yeah, I would start Henderson instead of Ward. Yes, Ward is playing at home, but Brighton are playing much better than Leicester, so there is more likelihood that Ward will concede. Henderson is a save magnet, so I will start Henderson. And like you mentioned, if he doesn't play for any reason, Ward will come in. I like the team. The same advice goes to you. I wouldn't do a transfer. I wouldn't take out Almiron, not yet. Maybe if he blanks game week 25, maybe. Not even then, but maybe, because there are tough fixtures around that period as well. But in the next three, he's a keep, absolute keep for me. Yeah, I would probably roll. Your team is good enough, unless something happens tonight, which goes for everybody's team. Haaland gets injured, Kane gets injured, Mahrez gets injured. Then yeah, I would make a transfer. Otherwise, good luck.
For sure. I'm going to crush it. I'm selling Armoran. He doesn't deserve to be here.
The moment I was saying the sentence, you should keep him. I knew you were gonna say, okay, he's out.
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone. The template answer is to keep. We're not following the template. Not out.
All right, let's move on to my team, and you can see my team now in front of you on the screen. I'll keep it short. I'm rolling. I'm rolling. I'm rolling. Joe, thoughts?
Boring. Boring.
Well, I spent the whole video arguing why you should roll, so I might as well do. So unless there are injuries tonight from tonight's game, yeah, I'm rolling.
Yeah, and I mean, I think your team's set up pretty well. I mean, you have your Arsenal players, especially in Ketia. I can see him putting in one and maybe getting an assist on Manu, specifically because Casemiro isn't there. Casemiro is kind of the glue that really helps out that defense. Holland, KDB, Cancelo. Yeah, sure, fine. Get rid of Cancelo. He's the new James. Till James comes back, then they're both James. Yeah, yeah, that's me.
Cool. I hope everybody enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell us what's your team. If you're doing a transfer, if you're rolling, forget commenting. Just if you're doing a transfer, I'm curious to see what transfers are you doing. Like I mentioned, if you're doing a transfer, if you're not rolling, I recommend to bring an Arsenal player. So are you doing that? Let us know down in the comments. Joe, would you like to say goodbye to our audience?
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. Like Doc said, make sure to comment. Let us know what your transfers are because rolling seems so boring. Um, like, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Game week 22 coming fast.
All right, everybody. We'll see you on the next episode.
Peace, everyone.
Peace.